Welcome to Marking the Text, a step-by-step guide. So here are the steps when you're reading a text and you need to mark it. First, you read the text. Then you're going to number the paragraphs. You'll highlight key words. Key words are the words that you have to know in order to understand the text. They might not be words that are unfamiliar to you, but they are the most important words. Then you're going to circle unfamiliar words. These are words that you don't know the meaning of or aren't sure of the meaning, but you can pretty much understand the gist of the article without knowing them. Then you'll put boxes around the main ideas. You'll divide the text into the introduction, body, and conclusions. Sometimes this is called chunking the text. Next, you'll annotate each paragraph. Annotating means writing a teeny tiny summary or reaction next to each paragraph. And finally, you'll write a one-sentence summary at the bottom. So, let's read the text. Please pause the video and read it to yourself. Now, we number the paragraphs. This one's easy. Just put the number right next to the paragraph as you see here. Now we're going to highlight key words. I've given you a close-up of paragraphs 2 and 3. You'll see that I've highlighted BPA, phthalates, and potentially, as well as recycled. Now, you all probably know what recycled means, and many of you probably know what potentially means. BPA and phthalates may be unfamiliar to you, but these are the words that you have to understand in order to understand paragraphs 2 and 3. So you'll do that with all of your paragraphs. Next, you're going to circle the unfamiliar words. Again, I've shown you a close-up of paragraphs 2 and 3, and you'll see that I've circled carcinogen, exposure, and decompose. Again, many of you may know some of these words, but for most middle schoolers, they're going to be unfamiliar, so we circle them. And you do that with all 4 paragraphs. Next, you're going to put boxes around the main ideas. Be careful. The main idea will not always come at the very beginning or the very end. You'll see here at the end of paragraph 1, it does come at the end. Despite its undoubted usefulness, however, plastic has a darker side. That's the main idea of the first paragraph. The main idea of the second paragraph is plastic is often made with chemicals that may be harmful. And then the rest of the paragraph goes on to explain what those chemicals are and how they might be harmful. Paragraph 3 is a little bit funky. It has its main idea right in the middle. The beginning sets up the main idea. Then our main idea is once a piece of plastic has been created, it stays plastic forever. And then the second part of the paragraph explains why that's a problem. You're going to find the main ideas in each of the paragraphs. But wait, you say, you put boxes around 2 ideas in the first paragraph. That's because in the first paragraph, we have 2 main ideas. This is the main idea for this paragraph, but this is the main idea to the entire essay. This is what we call the thesis of the essay. That's the main idea or the main point that the writer is going to prove. Then you're going to divide the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. For a short essay like this, it's easy. The first paragraph is the intro, the last paragraph is the conclusion, and the middle is the body. Sometimes, especially with longer articles though, you're going to chunk it into more than that. You might be chunking it into the introduction, the conclusion, and then 3 different arguments in the body, each of those arguments having 2 or 3 paragraphs. Remember, you're going to chunk it into the way that makes the most sense. For this essay, the most sense is intro, body, and conclusion. Then you're going to annotate. Annotating is often the part that students struggle with the most. So we're going to talk about how you annotate one paragraph, and we're going to look very specifically at paragraph 2. You annotate by writing different things on each margin. The margin is that white space on the side. On the left-hand side, you're going to write a teeny tiny summary. This paragraph is all about how plastic is often made with chemicals that may be harmful. And so I've summarized it with one word: chemicals. Then on the other side, you're going to write a question or a reaction. My question was, how much is harmful? It's not answered anywhere in this essay. To answer this question, I'll need to go look in other articles. I'll need to go look on the internet. I might start here. This is where the writer got the fact that 1-phthalate is reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen. Ooh, carcinogen is circled. That means it's an unfamiliar word. So we look it up. Cancer causing. Take a moment right now and look up the word exposure. Find out what that means. Let's move on now. You're going to annotate each paragraph. You'll notice I've defined all of my circled words. I have teeny tiny summaries on this side and reactions or questions on this side. You'll notice that my questions and reactions are not super detailed. For paragraph 2, I asked how much is harmful. For paragraph 3, my reaction was just yuck. And for paragraph 4, my question was, what else? Meaning, what else should I know about plastic? Finally, you're going to summarize. This summary is a special type of summary. It's the one-sentence summary. It gives you a basic gist by answering the 6 questions: who, what, where, when, why, and how. If you would like further information on how to write one of these summaries, please check out the video called One-Sentence Summaries. Let's look at the summary here. According to experts, that's who, we should reduce plastic use in all aspects of life, that's what, immediately, that's when, because it is a potentially toxic pollutant, even though it is also a useful material. That's why. So it answers all of the questions. And here's our finished product. Notice how different it looks from the original. We have it chunked. We have boxes around main ideas. We have our key words highlighted. We have our unfamiliar words circled and defined. We have summaries here and questions here. But why is this important? For one thing, we've learned a whole lot more about this article and about plastic than if we had just read the article. We have dissected it, and by dissecting it, by picking it apart, we've learned more. We've engaged our brain by forcing ourselves to come up with summaries for each paragraph, a summary for the entire essay, and by forcing ourselves to ask a question or have a reaction to each part. By marking the text, we learn to understand it better. If you have further questions, please feel free to watch this video as many times as necessary or ask your teacher.